A few fairies settled in Tetra's hair, clearly listening in. By their light, Agatha could see the new knight was taller than the king and darker in complexion, though not as pumped with muscle. Still, with his cropped hair, high forehead, and scrubbed jaw, he seemed sturdier than Tetros, more intense. You really think the snake is your brother? Ryan asked. That he's your father's son? Lady Grimling never said it was sure, but she said she had done something terrible, something she had hidden from Arthur and the world, said Tetros. Plus, the snake called me brother. He thought he can pull Excalibur, and Lady Grimling never denied it. And yet, if he can pull Excalibur from the stone, that would mean he's truly my father's son. Would my father's son try to kill his own brother? Would he really murder Lancelot, his father's best friend and knight? A friend and knight who betrayed your father. A knight with your father's price on his head, said Ryan worriedly. Maybe the snake is taking revenge in your father's name. If Dot hadn't captured the team, your mother might very well have been next. Tetros stiffened. All this time, I thought King Arthur's son could never be a villain like the snake. I never considered that he could be a villain because he's Arthur's son. He looked at Ryan. So it is possible, then, the snake might be Camelot's real king. Don't fear, sir. The snake is in prison where he belongs. When you return, you will try your hand at Excalibur again. And this time, I'm sure it will give you the answer you deserve, said Ryan warmly. In the meantime, you have a kingdom to take care of, a wedding to plan. He paused it. And a mother to be there for. Tetros looked at him, his mouth quivering. I'm dreading coming back, Ryan. Tetros. You don't understand. I hated Lancelot after he took my mother away. I wanted him to die. But in the end, I learned to love him like my own dad. My mother won't be able to live without him. Lance was her whole life. And to watch her stand there at my wedding alone, I can't do it. I just can't. I don't know why she made Lancelot come with me into the woods. I'm not enough for her. Yes, you are, said Ryan. You said it yourself. She knew the risks of sending Lancelot into the woods, but you are worth those risks to her, or she wouldn't have made Lancelot go with you. Tetros sniffled, dabbing at his eyes quickly. So you don't just save kings' lives, you talk sense into them too. All parts of a night's work. Is dying part of a night's work too? Said Tetros morosely. Because every night I have ends up dead. I'll take my chances, said Ryan. My duty as a knight is to protect you with all the risks that incurs. Tetros looked at him, wiping his nose with his shirt. Where were you when I was at school? You could have saved me from, girls. Ryan laughed. Behind the tree, Agatha spied on them, conflicted. On the one hand, she was so relieved Tetros has someone to talk to after such a terrible loss. On the other hand, she was enraged that he wasn't sharing these feelings with her. She couldn't remember a time when he had been this open with her during the last 6 months. Or ever. Seriously, how could the schoolmaster not take you? Tetros asked. Beats me, said Ryan. I'm from Fastwood, which sends more boys to the school for good than any other ever kingdom, and I tried to be a good boy growing up. But on kidnapping day, I didn't get a flower grant ticket. Sometimes I think my mother hid it. She never wanted me to go to that school. But I also wonder if I'll be here today if I had been in your class at the school for good. Out in the woods, I could prove myself to you by being there when it mattered, fighting the snake at the 4 points, or riding across the Ever and Neverlands, beating back the snake's fronts, and saving your friend's quests. At school, I would have just been another Ever boy trying to curry your favor. At school, there's no real way to prove that you can be a good knight. Or a good king, said Tetros. Or a good son, sighed Ryan. Tetros wasted a blow. From what I know of your story, we have a lot in common, Ryan explained. My father died too. My relationship with my mother is difficult. And when neither parent is a comfort, you live haunted by their shadows instead of finding your way out from under them. By hearing the tale of Sophie and Agatha showed me a path. Camelot has a divine duty to unite the woods in times of crisis. That's why I idealized your father over mine. His power transcended good and evil and made both sides look to him as a leader. Maybe he didn't always use this power the way he should have, but he was more than a king. He was a legend. And that's why I'm here to help you. Because I realized that it's my destiny to make sure the one true king rules Camelot and that you and your queen earn your rightful place. Tetros took this in silence for a moment. So you risk your life, you risk your name, you put everything on the line for me?